Just one interesting cohort, 485 visas, so they're allowed back into the country. These are the students that essentially have a year of, sometimes it's more study, sometimes it's a work placement, but it's crucial to their international degree. It's why it has such prestige, if you like. They go back to their country and they say, I worked at PwC for a year, or whatever it might be.
Yep.
What's your understanding on those visas that have either expired or a big chunk of time of them have elapsed during COVID? Do they get their full 485 visa time back? Do you have any information on that?
Look, you'd have to go to Home Affairs to find out the minute details there, but I know that Home Affairs has been quite flexible about dealing with those sorts of expiry issues. So they did good work on making sure that people still had their allocation of work time. So obviously, if you're overseas, you can't do your work placement while you're here. And they've been very good about making sure that those students have assurance around that.
Right, but because if they don't have it, this is the problem. We lose reputational damage, right? And we can't afford, a lot of these students from India, if we put them offside, we'll probably lose a chunk of the market.
Look, that's a problem, but it's also a problem about making sure that you honour your promises. I think Australians believe that when you promise something, you fulfil that
And that's
promise.
why people pay a lot of money, to be frank, for an international
degree. There's a bunch of reasons people want to invest in a degree. One of them is because it gives them a better prospect at a better life, and that's something that everyone should be able to aspire to.
The overall market, is that going to be smaller? Has that shrunk, do you think, when we're looking at the international student market?
Look, if you look at the bald figures, the commencements have gone down by 40%. That is a dramatic drop. So that's first year students down by 40%.
So do you think there's any hope that it recovers by next year?
There's no way that will recover by next year. It's too many too quick to be able to recover by next year. We genuinely hope that recovers over the next few years, but that will mean there are revenue issues for the sector for the next couple of years. So COVID doesn't stop for us tomorrow. It doesn't stop for anyone tomorrow, but the revenue hit doesn't stop for us tomorrow because we've lost first years. You lose first years, you haven't got them in second year, third year, fourth year. So there's a nasty tail here for the university sector. But we need to do, universities, but government together needs to do a really good job at making sure the international community knows that we are open, we are welcoming, we are really keen to have students back. As you've already mentioned, the UK, the US, Canada are working very hard to get our terrific international students.
The government's attitude so far in terms of compensation, I suppose, has been, well, look at all your assets, particularly the G7, or Group of 8, I think it is, sorry. Mixing up my G's there, you know, you've got a lot of assets, these universities, so you'll be fine. It seems to have played out that way so far. What do you make of that attitude?
Look, I think the government understands there are really diverse effects across the sector. There is no getting away from the fact that the sector lost $1.8 billion last year. Different universities fared better and worse, but overall the sector has genuinely taken a hit, and we need to deal with that as a country. We want to be able to maintain our really, really world-class standards in all of our universities all across the country, city, country, you know, we have a really fantastic and diverse range of universities, and it's really important to maintain the financial health as well as the educational health of those institutions.